the 9-8 season, and deep in the attack zone is Jaime Moreno, but a pass from Tony Senna doesn't make connections, and Dooley will clear it back.
And the player on the ball over there, number 33, Judah Cooks, getting his first start for DC United. This is his debut performance for them, so a big day for him. Just 21 years old.
Got a couple of 21-year-olds on the back line, and that's one of them, Kerry Talley, 6'2", 180 pounds. Yamosa, long ball to the far side, and Cooks will take it down with pressure from Brian McBride. They slide it into Jaime Moreno. And back for John Harkes, who's playing more of the attack midfield role with Echeverry out of the lineup. That's Harkes on the ball. Closed down by Yeagley. Broken up by the Crew defense, and Dooley will float it. Kind of a dangerous ball, and Maisenoff has to help it forward. Judah Cooks in for Harkes. He turns to face against Alcock, then slung it across off the chest of Dooley, and he clears it upfield to Alcock. Pressure from Harkes, and double team come now from A.J. Wood, and United wins it away. That's an offside.
Yeah. So interesting high pressure already from a DC United team that's missing about 5 regular starters. Some through injury, some just being rested. One, the case of Olsen, suspended because of a red card in the last match. But I think the very different views here. The Crew are very concerned about winning this game, getting back on the winning track. And DC United are concerned about giving some players a rest and being really ready for Wednesday.
Neither team is playing well right now. We mentioned the Crew on a 4-game losing streak. Their latest loss to Tampa Bay on Wednesday. Well, in the meantime, the DC United has lost 3 of their last 4, including 2 to the Miami Fusion, and that helped the Fusion get into the playoffs.
Yeah, terrific rally by the Fusion when they looked like they were in trouble. But they got to give them credit. They came to DC United, won there, won at home before that. And in between those 2 games, DC managed to win 5-0 against New York, New Jersey.
Jaime Moreno on a run, the slide tackle by Clark successful, and there's Andy Williams on the ball with pressure from Mike Slavinsky. Slavinsky knocked in and got out of bounds. That'll be a throw-in for the Crew. Tom Fitzgerald in his second full season on the Crew bench, 39 and 34. There you see his record. And he's looking to get these guys playing well on the road. They are 4 and 11 away from the shoe, and that's offside. Brian McBride had just snuck in behind the defense. The flag went up on the near side.
Well, you're talking about away play. It's very important in playoffs. Obviously, there's nothing better for a team than to go to somebody else's park and steal a win. There, it puts you in such great shape for a playoff, and one way to get that habit going is to try to win a game like this. DC has a habit of losing late season games at home. They lost 2 in a row at home last season before they went on to win the championship.
This is A.J. Wood, a former Crew member. Onger tried to curl it in just over the bar. Sneaky little shot from Jeff Onger.
Absolutely, and not the kind of thing you normally expect Jeff Onger to try to pull off. More of a no-nonsense defensive midfielder, but good battling by A.J. Wood here keeps Ira Baronoff, and a nice soft gliding shot there. Just skimming the top, but Doherty in good position for it.
Crew really hasn't made it over the half line yet in possession. Mario Gori will win this ball and turn it quickly outside away from McBride. Clark onto that errant ball, but missed the teammate. And Gori to Sana, who's been out much of the season after abdominal surgery. Maisenoff came in with a strong tackle, and Maisenoff with some space, making his 2nd straight start after ankle surgery. Rich Grady is the man in the middle today, our official. His assistants Richard Huber and Greg Barkey. And Dan Steed is the 4th official. Backstick, McBride got it in front of goal, but Garlick's going to take it easily at the half hop.
McBride, of course, always the target man at the far post for the crosses. And no matter how much strength there is back there in the DC defense, he's still going to win more than half of those for sure.
Here's Mike Slavinsky. He's got some pace, finds an opening. Dooley there to get him. Has to turn away from traffic. pressure helps him. And Hart for Wood. Into the box, Moreno and Era Barrett. Ricardo will clear it to the sideline, and that ball will belong to DC. Judah Cooks to Moreno. Moreno tried to get around Era Barrett. Ricardo usually gets the assignment of marking the top scorer on the opponent's side. Still on the ball is Cooks. Some interplay there. Dooley came out of his scrum. Momentarily lost it. Here's Moreno on his way. Kicked out by Doherty.
Wow. Bad mistake by Dooley there, getting dispossessed by a quick flick from Slavinsky. And that's what created all the trouble on that far side.
Gorey with some pace to the end line. The left footer, Mark Doherty will handle it easily.
Such a good ball possession team, DC United. And they love to possess the ball. Just take a look at Dooley, who survived a rough moment there with that foul. And we are noticing that Roy Lassiter already is warming up. Now, I mentioned when we did the lineups that he would come in the second half and play for Moreno. Well, what can that mean? That must mean that somebody is hurting quickly. Probably either A.J. Wood or Moreno.
Bruce Arena with a few words for Lassiter on the sideline as he's warming up. Ryan McBride on the loose ball. He plays ahead for John. Kerry Telly stepped in, and Yamosa will get it over here to Mario Gorey, who's also missed a good portion of the season due to injury. Slavinsky tried to dart through two. It got closed up quickly. DC carries on. Moreno and Elcock in this battle. Elcock inside, pushed by Moreno. Ansel able to catch up with it, put it through the legs, and he came away. Jason Farrell on the ball now. Farrell with the left foot. It's over everybody.
That's a very low percentage ball, that long ball out of the back for Columbus. Tends to work better at the shoe, where they can play long ball and then high pressure in limited space. But this is a big, big park here. It's virtually the Great Plains compared to the little park that will soon, for not much longer, be the home of the Crew.
Tony Senna in your picture. Over to Judah Cooks. Now another battle between Alcock and Moreno. Those two guys are doing a little dancing. 1st and 10. Columbus Crew.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how adventurous Judah Cooks is down the right side as we take a look here at Ansel Alcock, because that far right side is so important. Roy Lassiter is one of those players who likes to run out to that wide position too. But Lassiter, you just saw, is warming up and stretching notably here on the side, so something's up. I haven't quite seen. I didn't notice Moreno or A.J. Wood look particularly stressed, but...
Well, I hope Moreno doesn't leave the lineup, because I'm enjoying that battle he's having with Alcock so far. Long-range Onger, this time with a little more power than last time.
That looked like the old Onger, Onger that we've come to know. Jeff, I mentioned, very, very tenacious, closing down the middle, and a good partner for John Parks, who playing the other central midfield position. And John, of course, as we all know, likes to go forward. Here comes Onger again, getting away from Williams, but a poor shot in the end.
Still scoreless as the final season wraps up. We're early on in game 32 for both of these sides. Onger over the back of Andy Williams, and the Crew will be able to restart now toward the attack end, believe it or not. Driven ball, neatly taken down by Farrell. Quickly across, John there, headball, goal! Stern John from Jason Farrell, 1-0 Crew.
How about that, Stern John? Incredible finishing, but what a quality cross this ball was. Absolutely beautifully driven ball from the far side, Jason Farrell, and gliding in between the spaces in the defense was Stern John. We've seen him score goals like this all season long, but Farrell with a nice turn. But look at him glide in between the defenders. But that ball is perfectly placed. Tally nowhere to be found. Yamosa reacts late, and this man reacts sharply and puts it away beautifully.
Good work by Williams and Farrell there. Farrell took a ball down that was driven to him from Williams, and Stern John continues to knock it in. 25 goals for him now, 55 points. He is only 3 points away from the highest season total ever in MLS, that being 58, held by Roy Lassiter.
I don't think that's why Lassiter's warming up to get into things, but actually Lassiter has gone into the game. In fact, and Tony Sana has come out, number 20, who was playing on the right side of midfield.
So Lassiter is in the game, and we will see that dual strike force of Moreno and Lassiter. Don't miss out on season tickets for $99 by placing a $25 non-refundable deposit before October 31st. Fans will receive a limited edition commemorative print of the new stadium and will be afforded level 2 priority in the seat selection process. You can find out more about this by calling the crew office at 614-221-CREW. Operators are standing by right now. There is a good run on these tickets, folks, so get in while you can. Rich Grady calling the foul against the Crew. There's Stern, the 21-year-old.
Well, there's Talley you saw in your picture, and he's very definitely caught a little bit of ball watching, losing track of Stern John on that goal, and Yamosa didn't react from the backside quickly enough. But Stern John deserves all the credit. This was not just a breakdown of defense, it was a great piece of finishing.
Anger, Moreno can't catch up to that. Doherty will jump on that one. Senna going down to the locker room. He had abdominal surgery this year and missed a good portion of the season. That's
not good news for them. He's an important figure in midfield, and you saw him tussling earlier in I think it was with Brian Masonov, and maybe that's where he re-injured it.
You're right, Seamus. He did come out of that thing very slowly. The tackle from Masonov. Jason Farrell, who had an assist on the goal. Good work to keep possession. Stern John in a crowd, battling to get possession, and Anger came away with it. Heavy pressure now from the Crew. McBride tried to leave it for Williams, busted up by Gorey. He plays ahead. Not a good pass there, fouling it up, and that ball belongs to Columbus. Mario doesn't like the call.
No, you know, Mario, when I first saw him play in this league, I was so impressed. Still am impressed by him. He's such a scrapper. Look at this. This is absolutely 100% charging for the ball. And he's got some skill, too. Growing up in Argentina, of course, that's no surprise. But he gives you such energy here on the left side.
John holding off Talley, laid it into space, and Todd Yeagley won't catch up to that. Another IU guy, Mike Clark. Williams can't save it. This ball is DC's.
Stern John off to a great start. You mentioned 25th goal, I think in 27 matches, if I got it right. This is his 27th match, and that's just wonderful.
Here's our Huntington Bank scoring summary. Stern John is 25th. It came in the 10th minute. Give the assist to Jason Farrell and Andy Williams. Lassiter across. Clark the first to the ball. Heads it out. Williams now with his 10th assist of the year. Roy Lassiter, he's been tearing it up since he got here from Tampa Bay. 18 goals for the Sniper. Nice work by John. Todd Yeagley in the midfield. Leaves it for the fleet feet of Williams. That's a great ball. Masonov floats underneath that. He's got Gorey coming over to get him. Into the short post. John turns, shoots, and scores! Stern John is second of the game. 2-0 Crew.
Oh my goodness, this is a terrific piece of counterattack. I talked about the long ball not working for you, but if you play it into the spaces, and what happened to DC is that Slavinsky hesitated, fearing an overlapping run from number 3, and he did not make the run, and this left all kinds of spaces because Clark did come forward. But I don't care what you do off the ball. If you've got a guy inside the box who can turn and make that kind of a shot on goal, you know, just get it to him, folks. Just get this man the ball. Receiving back to goal, man all over him, swings around with those arms, and he must have caught Talley in the head there. And there's his reaction. You saw his arms all over the place. And you know the nickname.
El Pulpo.
The nickname he's been given is El Pulpo by Marcelo Guerrero, which means the octopus. So next time we see that, we'll maybe see that goal again. You'll see the arms going up. But this is the player who is trying to mark him. And I have to say, poor Talley is 0 for 2 on trying to mark Stern John on attacking opportunities.
Well, one more goal for Stern if he scores another goal in this game, gets his 4th hat trick of the season. He will equal the season-high total set by Roy Lassiter in 1996 when he played with Tampa Bay. So that's an interesting sidelight happening.
Well, Lassiter looking over his shoulder, literally and metaphorically here,
Yes.
because he hears the steps. And, you know, Lassiter has done a number on the Crew. He's got 1 goal in 1 game since being traded from Tampa Bay. But with the mutiny, he had 3 goals and 3 assists in 7 games against the Crew. So he likes playing the Crew, but he's going to have to like it really especially today because the Crew are just playing wonderful stuff. And giving an exhibition of how to finish is Mr. Stern John.
4 goals in 4 games for Stern John against DC United. And with as much as the Crew has struggled away from the shoe, this is a good start for them. Up 2-0. And actually for the first 10 minutes, Seamus, they just absorbed pressure. And caught lightning a couple of times. Williams quickly with his feet. Yamosa to get him. Now Yeagley. He'll leave it again for Andy Williams, who circles around. This is Ansel Alcock, 8 assists on the season. Farrell, who's been doing some damage from over there. Another great ball, this time headed up and away by Yamosa.
Well, Gorey coming back in there also to help out as an extra player.
McBride looking for an opening. He got hipped off the ball by Talley.
Well, Jason Farrell, you mentioned, doing well, but let me explain one thing here. When you've got a dangerous man in the middle like Stern John and McBride, this provides opportunities for players like Farrell on the one side and maybe Clark on the other, certainly Masonov, to do some damage down the side, especially on a nice big spacious park like this.
Foul's going to be called against Brian Masonov. I believe a handball. Rich Grady signaling there. Harks wearing the captain's armband for DC. Into a crowd, quick cut. Now into space ahead. Here comes A.J. Wood, the left foot. He scores! Oh, no, he missed it wide. He missed it to the side. The crowd reaction and the way it hit side netting. But a good ball from Harks.
Well, I thought it was in too for a minute, except the players didn't react to celebrate. That's a tough ball.
Lassiter not happy with it. A.J. Wood thinking about that last chance.
Well, this is not a bad finish. There's a great ball, a super ball from John Harks. But I think a late rush on the shot, on the shooter. You see he gets pressed here by a defender. And Wood sees, nonetheless, all goal and does not put it on target.
First corner kick of the game. Harks will launch. Low drive in front. Dangerous. Nobody got on it. Those are dangerous balls. Slavinsky back in the mix. Farrell will come away. On the foot of Brian McBride. 27 points for Brian. 10 goals, 7 assists.
You know, this team, Columbus Crew, likes to play the ball around too and likes to knock balls forward into dangerous positions. And with the new stadium next season, boy, they are going to have so much fun. Here's another look at this shot. Is there a block there? No, it wasn't touched. I thought for a minute it might have been touched by Jason Farrell. And I guess a corner resulted from later play. But once in the new stadium next year, this team is going to be ever so much more entertaining than it already is. Because when they have space, boy, they can play some pretty attractive stuff.
This is Jeff Onger, who had a dangerous chance early on for United. And then a not so dangerous one a bit later on. Into space, Mike Clark coming ahead. Slavinsky turns it up to try and catch him. That is picked off by Talley. Nifty little move by Harks, but he won't. Yeah, he'll get to the back end and try it again. Andy Williams wasn't buying it the second time.
That's the kind of play John Harks loves to indulge in. Got it away nicely once. The second time was a bit more dicey, but he did draw the foul.
Don't forget to be at Ohio Stadium Wednesday, September 30th, 7:30. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs between the Crew and the Metro Stars. It's Health South night with the Crew, and the first 5,000 fans receive Crew antenna balls, courtesy of Health South. That's Wednesday. The playoffs begin.
Part of the problem for DC United at the moment, Ed, is they really are pressing everything through the middle. And Harks is making some runs through the middle. Moreno, Lassiter, but you got to vary it. You got to get wide a little bit, and they got to encourage the rookie Judah Cooks to add some depth and width in the attack to help spread the Crew defense. This is better.
It's amazing how a couple of goals will change that style very quickly.
Yep.
Cooks, McBride defending. Cooks the first one up onto that one. Harry Talley will deliver it to John Harks. Into space, Lassiter won't catch this.
Kind of ball that Lassiter likes to get at the end of, though, and he likes the matchup against Dooley. Perhaps Tom Dooley not so quick. He's very quick in his thinking and his anticipation, but fleetness of foot is not as it used to be for the 37-year-old.
Mike Clark will put this one back in play. Clark missed the last game for the Crew against Tampa Bay. Back in the starting lineup. Is the Crew all-time leader in games played. Ricardo Barrett, 31-year-old from La Plata, Argentina. He'll take advantage of some space, then drill it ahead. McBride is offside.
McBride a little unhappy there because the ball wasn't released earlier when he was onside, and then unfortunately for him, he had drifted behind the last defender when the ball was eventually released, but the early ball was on and it didn't come from the back.
Anderson against Seamus Mallet back at RFK as we enjoy the Columbus Crew and DC United playing in the final game of the regular season. Crew wearing white, DC United in black, and it's 2-0 on a pair of Stern John goals. And he remains 1 point away from the all-time record.
Is it possible there's another hat trick coming up for Stern John?
Well, you know what? He scores them in streaks.
He does.
Good ball. On the right wing, Cooks across, over the bar from DC.
Mario Gori. Well, that's what happens when you put a left fullback in front of goal. I mean, had that been anybody else, I think it might have been slammed into the net. He's trying to claim it was a corner kick. Masonov is hurt. Now here's we get another look at it. Great ball through from Lassiter. And here's the cross, a nice driven ball. Who touches this? Well, it looked like maybe a defender got around Gori, so I shouldn't be quite so critical of his finishing ability.
Well, Brian Masonov is still down in front of the Crew goal, and trainer Amy Armstrong is out to take a look.
It might have been Brian who made the challenge here. There's the ball through. You'll see Cooks come up at the cross, a nice driven low ball. It's a nightmare for defenses. But Masonov made the challenge in there on Gori, so that was heads-up play by Brian Masonov, but he's pretty uncomfortable right now.
Well, Brian missed 10 games after injuring an ankle against the Chicago Fire on July 9th. He underwent surgery on the 21st, and he is just getting back into the lineup. It was that right ankle that he injured.
Now that is not a pretty picture. That is not a good sight at all. You really need a healthy Brian Masonov for a good playoff run.
The thing about Brian Masonov with Andy Williams, the Crew was just starting to get a feel for the way they would work in the midfield.
Yeah, the last game they played was their first time ever together.
It's the right ankle that is being looked at by Amy Armstrong, and that's where he had the surgery. Rob Smith is warming up on the sideline for the Crew. There he is, taking care of his socks.
Well, he's a good, hard-working player, Rob Smith. He would not be of upset if we said he's no Brian Masonov, because Brian is a special talent, I think only fair to say. But Rob's a very hard worker, and with a 2-goal lead, that is one of the things you really need to have around you. A lot of hard-working people to keep the lead and build on it if possible. But it's a good thing if you certainly don't want anybody to be injured, but Brian Masonov at 0-0 would have been a very tough loss for them. 2-0, a little bit less critical.
Burst of speed by Cooks around fair. He got it in front. And the left foot of Yeagley to save the day.
Difficult ball for Yeagley. Not easy to hit those out. Now we'll have the substitution.
So Rob Smith will enter the game. It will be Smith's 23rd appearance of the season. He's made 14 starts, 8 points for Rob. 25-year-old from Wilmington, Delaware. So the substitution comes in the 24th minute. Lassiter couldn't catch up with that. He might have been screened by Ricardo Iribarren.
Yeah, a screen, and Ricardo got a touch on it. That's why it's a corner kick. Otherwise, it would have been almost the perfect kind of service that Lassiter likes. Get onto his chest, take it down, and then just thrash it into the net.
So another corner kick from the near spot, and it's Harks again who will put it in play. Harks with 6 goals, 6 assists on the season. Curls it in, headed away by Alcock. The whistle had blown. Somebody was doing something they shouldn't have in there.
A.J. Wood, I think, guilty of pushing around. A.J. Wood, who started up top, was not able to put much of a threat there on Mark Doherty. He started up top as one of 2 strikers at Moreno. When Lassiter came in, Lassiter, of course, went up front, and A.J. Wood has dropped back into the midfield, essentially in Sana's place on the right side of midfield.
By the way, Doherty starting. Jurgen Sommer did not make the trip, and congratulations to Jurgen and his wife Susie on the birth of their son Tom. The running, here comes McBride. It's blocked by Gorey and away, and it'll be a corner kick. But what I was going to say, Seamus, is they said that Jurgen is away on maternity leave.
Well, good news for the Sommer family, Jurgen and Susie. That's terrific that Tom has arrived, and we wish them lots of joy in the ever-challenging task of bringing up a child.
Williams, long ball. Smith will get a touch in, play it back with the left foot. It's over most of the Crew and headed away by DC. Another corner kick for the Crew.
Boy, what double trouble. Stern John and McBride on high balls. Look at this flick over the top by Stern John, playing McBride through. What a great creative touch that was by Stern John. We've seen him bury 2 goals, and you saw in that little replay his quickness, cleverness, and inventiveness. He's going to be a superstar in this league if the league can hold him.
Yeah, and again, Seamus, I mean, Brian and Stern are just starting to learn how to play with one another. Short post, and Slavinsky will trap it, then whack it. But those 2 guys basically, for the majority of their playing time, were just 2 front runners running around. Now they're starting to play together.
Yeah, it is hard. They haven't got it right yet. They couldn't be more different. And Williams, of course, is a passer from midfield, is key in getting those balls through.
Mark, the Hotel of Columbus, and the official host of the Columbus Crew. Here comes Lassiter. Lays it back. Moreno, a good touch. Levinsky, it's still free and away by Thomas Dooley. Gorey with some strength. Onger. The race is on. Clark wins it. It'll belong to DC.
What a spin away by Williams. Jeff Onger clearly beaten 6 ways to Sunday on that one, and he was all at sea with the space behind him exposed. So he did what comes naturally, take him down. Look at this turn away and house here. Now he knows he's in trouble because there's all that space, and you do not want to let a player of Williams' ability careen into space with the ball at his feet. There's there's a tough tackle from behind on Yamosa. Yamosa feels he came in from the side, but he got all of Stern John. And Stern John has got to get used to, well, he is used to. He's been getting hammered by a lot of defenders. But that's the traditional 2-goal payback.
Farrell will try to track this down. He's got A.J. Wood on the mark, isolated out there, one-on-one. A couple of quick touches, and he'll play back for Alcock. He changes the point of attack. Floating under it is John. Chests it down. McBride won't catch up to that. Quick high foot from Yamosa. Clark won that battle with Moreno. Now the race with Gorey. Gorey turns it upfield, and a roar of approval from the DC faithful. Look at the strength of Andy Williams. He ran into another black shirt who wasn't buying any of that.
No, it's Mario Gorey. A great piece of skill to get out of a jam, and there's a nice piece of skill too to get out of a jam on the part of A.J. Wood.
Slavinsky gets knocked away by Williams.
But that's important. A Williams recovery run there, very, very important to come back and show he's going to defend as well as attack.
Slavinsky was listed as probable with a dislocated shoulder. He is probably not 100% recovered from that. Another driven ball. Adams Mark, the Hotel of Columbus and the official host hotel of the Crew, offers special crew fan rates of $79, $89, featuring luxurious accommodations in the center of Columbus. Call 614-228-5050 for reservations. Another corner kick for Mr. Hartz. See what he's got in store this time. Stern John got a head on it. Slavinsky strong into that aerial confrontation. Rob Smith's going to have to get on a horse there.
What a great idea, though. Stern John delivered that ball from a left fullback position, having come back to defend on the corner. That's great play, and he needed to get it a little bit far forward. Sort of a note of apology there to Smitty for not being as accurate as he would have liked.
Some strong work by Ansel Alcock, and Moreno is looking for some help from the officials, so is the crowd. They're not getting it. The report on Brian Mazonoff is he did sprain that right ankle. Farrell trying to pull his way through Yamosa, and he gets called for the foul.
Yamosa making a little bit of heavy weather here, it seems to me. I mean, he's showing his lack of match fitness. You see, now this is the kind of play that he really should have had not much trouble with. The sort of older Yamosa, the earlier Yamosa, but he looked struggling with it. Was this a foul or not? The referee allowed play on. Alcock all over Jaime Moreno.
Slavinsky tried to play one touch. Look at that move from Andy Williams. Now a burst of speed, and he'll try to play into space. Kelly got a piece of it. Onger cleans up, and Wood will come forward. Wood now with some time. He found Jeff Onger. Onger played a lot at left back for DC United early in the season. Moreno on the turn. Dooley tried to get him and fouled him. This is a set piece for United just at the top of the D.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, Marco Echeverry isn't here.
Right.
And that's part of the problem, but is this a foul? Yeah, it's a foul. He got the legs around him first and then got the touch on the ball. And of course, Thomas Dooley comes up saying, I got the ball, but he gets the man first. And there's the touch at the end, but very definitely a foul. He's landed heavily on his shoulder, Moreno has. And he's holding his shoulder in some considerable stress. His left shoulder.
Well, for a team that's trying to get healthy for the playoffs, Tony Santa's gone off. Now Moreno is being attended to.
Well, here's another nice low look at this. He touched away. Now watch the way he falls. Yeah, see, he falls heavily on that left shoulder, and you can see him rolling around immediately and grabbing it. This is a nice surface here in this stadium. It's a really beautiful passing surface. And there's Marco Echeverry, and we talked about he is not suited up. He's not on the substitute list, but his absence is part of the problem that DC United has in midfield at the moment. There's no kind of brilliant sort of passing distribution out of midfield.
Jeff Agus in the picture there. He might see some action in the second half. Agus is nursing a left foot sprain, but trainer Rick Guter taking a look at Jaime Moreno, and he is still in some pain.
Yeah, they're taking him off. Looks like Goose is going to come on. Jeff Agus is going to come on. Now, they already have 3 strikers out there. Let's wait for this to develop, and we'll talk about that.
We got Harks and Onger. Harks will try to curl it. It's just over the bar and covered by Doherty. Now,
you may wonder why bring Jeff Agus in when you're taking off a striker. But as I just said, they have had 3 strikers out there in the form of Moreno, Lassiter, and A.J. Wood, with A.J. Wood playing an unfamiliar right-sided midfield. Now they will probably push Wood back up into Moreno's position so that he and Lassiter will be the strikers, and Goose will come in and play on the side of midfield or fullback.
Jason Farrell, who, by the way, is sans his face protector after getting his cheek busted in Tampa Bay about a month ago. It's the first time he has been out there without the protection.
So DC United playing now with 10 players as Agus warms up.
Lassiter, Judah Cooks, and Kerry Talley. Onger, heavy pressure from Smith.
And this is keep away time. This is time to give Agus to warm up and hit a long ball forward at the end. And don't worry too much about what happens if you lose possession there, but get people behind the ball, which is what they're doing now.
In a crowd, Brian McBride got knocked off of Jeff Onger. The best place in Ohio Stadium to watch a Crew game is the Adidas section, located at midfield, surrounded by true soccer fans waving their limited edition Adidas Go Crew cards. You can receive a free ticket to the Adidas section with a $25 purchase of official Adidas Crew merchandise at Soccer Plus in Westerville. Compliments of Adidas. Call 614-882-0909. Loads of space for Todd Yeagley to take advantage of it. Here he comes. Todd will attack the defense. Plays right side. Offside flag is up.
Well, that's a good chance Ghana begging to put this game on ice. A third goal would have killed it off. They had 10 players on the field, DC United. Stern John there really at fault because he could see where all the defenders were, and the ball was coming from a good side, namely his left side, where he could still see defenders on the pass. And yet he took his eye off the defense and straight over that imaginary line and got himself offside.
43 points for Jaime Moreno, and he's going to the locker room to join Tony Senna.
Yeah, Moreno, as you mentioned, had been on form. 4 goals, 1 assist in the last 3 games. So that is about where I really hope he is okay for the playoffs, because he is such an exciting player. Was fantastic in the '97 MLS Cup in Foxborough under atrocious torrential conditions.
Into the lineup is Jeff Agus. He will replace Moreno, and it comes in the 35th minute.
And he's gone into play center back. And Talley has gone over to play right back, it looks like.
So DC has already used 2 substitutions, Lassiter and Agus.
The starting right back, Cooks, the rookie, has now gone up to play the right side of midfield where A.J. Wood was.
And a quick touch for Jeff. They'll fumble left foot. A.J. Wood got up, now in a battle with Dooley. Double team help. Clark went sliding by. And Harks helps it along to the right flank. Talley venturing forward. Farrell's got him there. Found help in Harks. The head fake. Now he got it across in the mix in front. Just wide as it flashed to the near post. Lassiter holding his head.
Boy, how many touches on that? I think it must be a corner kick. But Lassiter certainly should have put that one away. But I don't know if Doherty got a touch on it first or second. Let's take a look. There's the touch. And I think they've just, it was headed clear by Clark at the end. Okay. It was headed clear by Clark at the end, but Lassiter definitely should have put that one away.
On the foot of Stern John. He'll take a touch. Can't get it past Agus. Kelly has to do some scrambling to gain possession. And Slavinsky, who has ventured on both flanks in this game so far. Each side of the midfield. Yeagley will come to pressure Gorey. Now Hart's turns. He was kicked by Smith and the whistle blew. The chip. Clark headed it down. Good ball from Yeagley. There's a battle. And they'll restart it again. Hey kids, the Crew Cat Kids Club presented by Grant Riverside Methodist Hospitals and Huntington Banks, Adidas, Kroger, and Health South. It's the coolest club in Major League Soccer. Members get many great benefits, and you can find out what you get by calling 221-CREW for details. Andy Williams has a couple of assists in this game. The Crew up 2-0. Stern John with both strikes, the 10th and the 15th minute. Dooley tried to play John. Agus jumped in. Williams, long range. I think Dooley was expecting maybe a little through ball, but he had to go.
I think he was expecting through ball. Isn't that the first run that Thomas Dooley has made in this first half, which has got 3 minutes left in it? That's telling us a lot about his respect for this team. He does sense that DC United is a little bit off balance at the moment, and that's a good time to make a forward run because he might not be tracked down. And DC very definitely is off their rhythm. They're not started a lot of key players, obviously, but they've had some bad breaks on injuries, and they're struggling.
Yeagley in a bind with Lassiter pressuring. The foul goes against Roy, and the Crew have a free kick, and Todd's going, why did you blow the whistle earlier?
Lassiter gets quite frustrated in this play. It's only because he's so competitive and so intense. And, a lot of the strikers are in many ways like skittish thoroughbreds. They have great days and they have dreadful days. But the thoroughbred at the other end, Mr. Stern, is having one heck of a day so far. 2 early goals are the difference in this match.
Lassiter on 44 points, tied with Raul Diaz-Arce for number 4 in scoring in the league. Williams, pressure from Gorey. Andy will throw it in. John checks. Right idea. The execution wasn't great, but AJ couldn't handle it. And Mike Clark will throw it in. Clark found some space with Rob Smith. Over there to get him is Onger. John couldn't get that little chip pass to Andy Williams. And Dooley.
The crowd has been taken out of this one, Adam. They just are not the usual boisterous DC crowd. And I think the reason for that is they're just not seeing the kind of attacking chances that gets a crowd excited. It just hasn't been down there that much.
Lassiter. Now right side Talley will swing it across. Hart's got a head on. Era Barron will clean up the loose change. Onger went in hard. Stern John is feeling the effects of that, holding his right ankle. Play carries on. Here comes Gorey with the right foot in front. Era Barron cleared it away. Stern John is still down. Well, we've got players falling all over the place.
Well, he's not accepting the apology of Jeff Onger very gratefully. Onger went over the top here. I think you'll see the stab there. Actually, he didn't go over the top. He got it with the follow through after he got the ball. Jeff Onger is known as an uncompromising tackler.
Into the D. AJ will leave it for Onger. Now Slavinsky. Clark on him. He got it across. Dooley stuck a right foot in. Williams tries to possess. It wound up on the foot of John Harks. His pass picked off. Stern did it twice. And then got it for Williams. Got himself in a good position, then lost it.
Come on, linesman, help him.
Don't miss out on season tickets for $99. You can put down your $25 non-refundable deposit before October 31st, and you'll get a bunch of stuff, including a limited edition commemorative print of the new stadium. You'll also be afforded level 2 priority. Call 614-221-CREW. Right now, operators are standing by. They'll tell you how you can get in on Crew Excitement, the new stadium in 1999. A.J. Wood into space. Lassiter turns it up a gear. He'll turn to face against Iribarren. Help from Dooley and Farrell. He has an opening, end line. He shoots, kicked out by Doherty.
Well, why does he shoot? I mean, he did all the brilliant work, made the early run, took the ball back, took it around the defender. Now this is a great move here past Iribarren. Terrific. He's going to the end line. He's got people in front. Now that's a shot on goal, no question about it, but it's a very low percentage shot from a hopeless angle when he could have perhaps squeezed it into somebody else.
Harks to the penalty spot, knotted down, the rebound, they score. A.J. Wood.
First real mistake in the back since Thomas Dooley was dispossessed early, but this ball is not cleared well. It's headed down. Wow, it was a difficult ball, to be fair to Ansel Alcock. I think he was the player. Came back to him very difficultly. Here's the header on goal, and look, it comes difficultly in a difficult position to Ansel Alcock, and he just tries to stab it away, but it only goes right to A.J. Wood, and as a striker, he knows where to put that, and he stuffs it up on the roof of the net. And that's a tough goal to take. With 3 minutes and change to go before the half, you're looking at a 2-1 lead instead of a 2-0 lead, and that's a big difference for the second half.
Kerry Taylor is the guy who got up high on the back end of the John Harks corner kick. Taylor at 6'2", strong in the air, and forced that mistake. So it's 2-1.
Well, you know, it's an interesting point you just made. It was a John Harks corner. We've seen a lot of them. And maybe that's what DC needs to do better, to claw themselves back into the game without their normal fluid passing. Then they got to try to capitalize on some well-done set pieces. They got a bit of a break because the ball came loose off Ansel Alcock, but they were there and they took advantage.
So it's 2-1. Lassiter is in a confrontation hard with Thomas Dooley and feeling the effects there. And then a Crew player knocked down Ricardo Iribarren.
Yeah, and Iribarren, I think, is going to get a yellow card here. Maybe both of them. Now this will be a good decision. If Brady gives a yellow to both of them, I think he'll have done a good job. There's one. And what's he going to do?
Well, he might be
he's just given a talking to. And the reason why I think he's given there is because Iribarren faked a little bit in being punched in the head. There's the challenge initially. Now it goes up the field further. Well, it was after this that it all happened, in which Iribarren, after the whistle had gone, came over and pretended to be hit in the face. There was a touch there, but he tried to make a meal of it. And the referee said, we're not buying that. We saw that in the World Cup. We've learned from that. And here's a yellow card for trying to pretend you've been injured.
Here at Ohio Stadium on Wednesday, September 30th, the playoffs begin 7:30. It's game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Rob Smith on the wing, got it across at the spot. McBride nodded in, and it just trickled wide. By the way, the first 5,000 fans at the game against the Metro Stars Wednesday night receive a Crew antenna ball courtesy of Health South, as it is Health South Night Wednesday as the playoffs begin.
Well, this is becoming a ritual, isn't
it?
Yes, it is. This another black-clad player down on the ground. This one, I think, is Talley.
And maybe holding a shoulder again.
Well, he went up courageously in a challenge with McBride. And, I mean, you do that taking your life in your hands, because McBride does not pull out from the aerial challenge. He goes full-blooded for goal. McBride really wants to get a goal. He's been having struggle getting back with all the success that Stern John has had.
Mario Gori.
It's Mario Gori, excuse me, yes. And Mario Gori plays wide in defense, but in some of these high balls has been coming out to help in the center of the defense. And he's a very courageous, gutsy player. and it's good to see him back on his feet.
He had knee surgery last February.
Yeah, he had a terrible time coming back from that. I like him. He's a good, he's not a complicated player, but he's an honest pro, and he gives you terrific effort and darn skill.
Mark smelled that and almost turned it in to a great DC chance. McBride went high for that. Gorey stepped in. Yeagley and Williams got their signals straight. Stern John will thump it left wing. Jason Farrell, whose role has been mainly defensive in this game, but he has had a couple of opportunities to stick in there offensively, and he's made it count.
And Stern John there, it's about the third pass in a row, Ed, that he's not been able to knock the ball over the top there. Well, maybe he's just being used to playing the smaller park and is not quite adjusted to all this space to play into.
Clock counts down, and there's the horn and the whistle to end the first half. 45 minutes are gone. 2 Stern John goals and a late A.J. Wood goal. It's 2-1 Crew at the half.
This is a special report from Fox Sports News.
Hello, everybody. This is Van Earl Wright inside the Fox Network Center with details of an amazing finish to an incredible baseball season for Mark McGwire as he hits 2 more home runs today to reach the unprecedented total of 70.
Third, 2 out. Into the field! Number 70! How much more can you give us, Big Mac? Number 70!
Hitting 70, I've never even thought about it, dreamt about it. How ironic how when I got to 62 so early in September and everybody was saying shoot for 70. And I come into the clubhouse when I got taken out of the game and they already had a hat made.
Much more reaction and a whole lot more details on this final day of the baseball season coming your way tonight on Fox Sports News Prime Time. Thank you for joining us. I'm Van Earl Wright.
This has been a special report from Fox Sports News.
These hands have held a beating heart. These hands have successfully completed over 1,500 open heart surgeries. These hands have turned over 65,000 pages of medical journals. These hands can perform open heart surgery through an opening no bigger than this. These hands you can trust.
Riverside Sports Medicine, for the athlete in everyone.
Much your collectible pieces mean to you. That's why we make sure to bring you the finest selection available in heirloom quality collectibles at affordable prices. As one of the country's premier shop-at-home channels, Value Vision proudly features many name brand collectibles with a wide variety of collections perfect for all ages. Look to Value Vision for a variety of fine collectibles on your local cable system today.
Welcome back to RFK Stadium. It's halftime here where the Crew is having at it with DC United. MLS, this stuff kicks. The 1998 MLS regular season has featured many ups and downs. Some amazing plays and some forgettable ones. But there's one thing the 98 season has featured a whole lot of, and that is excitement. While in Columbus, the Crew began the season 5-2 in first place in the Eastern Conference. A midseason slump caused by injuries and players lost to the World Cup saw them slip. However, a recent 6-1 stretch led by scoring sensation Stern John brought the Crew back into second place. It secured home field advantage for their first-round playoff matchup against the Metro Stars. Now the Crew hope to return to top form and make a run at MLS Cup 98. MLS, this stuff kicks.
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.
Soccer is a game with a ball, 2 goals, and 22 players. On a good day, the ball is your dance partner, and the goals are vacuum. On a bad day, their goalkeeper's a wall, and the grass is concrete. So when your body and the field meet too many times, there's Health South. We're the nation's largest provider of comprehensive sports medicine and rehab for competitive and recreational athletes. Health South will restore you to peak performance, so there are more of the good days in your future. Health South, the healthcare company of the 21st century.
During the year, we spend a lot of time with each other, both on the field and off. It brings us closer together, and that helps us play better. When Lil has the ball, I know exactly where she needs me to be. It's like we can read each other's minds.
Riverside Sports Medicine, for the athlete in everyone.
These hands have held a beating heart. These hands have successfully completed over 1,500 open heart surgeries. These hands have turned over 65,000 pages of medical journals. These hands can perform open heart surgery through an opening no bigger than this. These hands you can trust.
Somewhere along the way, you'll eat some amazing seafood. Maybe something you caught that afternoon. Usually about the time that knot between your shoulders seems to disappear. There'll be a point when you do absolutely nothing. And another where you cram more into one day than you ever thought possible. Shortly after that, it will be time to leave. Except you won't. You'll just go home for a while. FLA, USA.
It's here that I am most happy. Soaring over sun-drenched mangroves and finding tiny islands of sanity along the way. It is this time I spend in paradise that I truly feel free as a...
Dreaming of a tropical island getaway? Florida's Lee Island coast. Call for your free visitor's guide to the Fort Myers and Sanibel area.
Crew fans, that's groundbreaking. August 14th, the new stadium for your Columbus Crew is taking shape as we speak. This jewel is centrally located on the grounds of the Ohio Exposition Center. You'll enjoy soccer-specific sightlines and comfortable seating, and a seating so close that Tom Fitzgerald might put you in the starting lineup. Now you've got until October 31st to put down a $25 non-refundable deposit. When you do that, you'll pick up a limited edition commemorative print of the new stadium, but you'll be afforded level 2 seating priority. Call 614-221-CREW. Operators are standing by right now. They'll give you more information on what's going on here because this is happening and it is exciting. We're here with CREW President and General Manager Jamie Rootson. Jamie, this is exciting like crazy, but tell us what's so special about this stadium.
Well, you mentioned it. We're bringing the fans as close as we possibly can to the playing surface. We're reducing the size of the facility to 22,500 seats to really give it an intimate feel, and so it'll be European-type atmosphere. Also, we'll provide amenities that fans have come to expect from Major League Sports. Every seat, all the seats will have backs on them, all the seating will have backs, a video board, some really great amenities, but it'll be done in the tradition and style of the Columbus Crew.
You know what I understand so far is these things are going like crazy.
Yeah, we brought in about a third of our season ticket base to select their seats personally, and they've accounted for about 3,000 seats so far. So if that keeps up, you can multiply that times 3, and that's where we'll start. We've got about 80% of our club seats sold, virtually all of our club loges, so it's really been fantastic. But it's not over yet. Folks can still take advantage of it.
All right, so do it now. Jamie, thanks for spending some time. The new stadium next year, get in on it now.
Back to back to back to back. The Indians have done it again.
It's all about. You know where I'm going, right? Where are you going? I'm going to Wahoo World. He's going to Wahoo World.
Back to back to back to back. The Indians have done it again.
Jack's Pro Hockey at Gund Arena is full of vicious slap shots, unbelievable saves. It's also great family fun with non-stop action, giveaway events, and special theme nights. The Jacks have season ticket plans that fit every budget and schedule, along with great benefits and discounts. I can't wait.
Jacks $98.99 ticket plans on sale now, including full, half-season, and flex packages. Season starts October 9th. Call 216-420-0000.
I have never stolen a ball, scored a goal, or won a game. Alone.
Soccer is a game with a ball, 2 goals, and 22 players. On a good day, the ball is your dance partner, and the goal's a vacuum. On a bad day, their goalkeeper's a wall, and the grass is concrete. So when your body and the field meet too many times, there's Health South. We're the nation's largest provider of comprehensive sports medicine and rehab for competitive and recreational athletes. Health South will restore you to peak performance, so there are more of the good days in your future. Health South, the healthcare company of the 21st century.
The United States Naval Academy offers unique opportunities for academic, athletic, and leadership excellence. Here, young men and women learn to lead and accept responsibility with a comprehensive program that challenges them morally, mentally, and physically. Here, they strive for the highest ideals of integrity and professionalism. Here, they prepare for their future roles as officers and leaders in the Navy and Marine Corps. Midshipmen accept their commitment to the Naval Academy's highest priority, character development, and dedicate themselves to the core values of honor, courage, and commitment. These young men and women are the U.S. Naval Academy. Leadership and vision for the 21st century.
Today's game is being brought to you by Huntington Banks, by Grant Riverside Methodist Hospitals, by Riverside Sports Medicine, and by Adidas. 2-1 is our halftime score here at RFK. A couple of Stern John goals and one from A.J. Woods. Let's take a look at them, Seamus.
Well, a pretty good heads-up play by Williams, taking his quick free kick, and he finds Farrell wide open. He pulls it back, but what a great finish by Stern John, ghosting in between the defenders. That was a classy goal. Look at this, Masonov in acres of space because of a breakdown of the defense. Nice ball served in. The other side of Stern John doesn't do this on the air, pivots and buries it. 2 perfect goals. Now this is where Moreno gets hurt. You see the challenge in here coming up by Thomas Dooley, misses the ball, down he goes hard on the shoulder. He's got a very severe bruise on his shoulder, we're told. The follow-up was a corner kick coming up, head-on goal by Talley, a bad touch, and then the volley by A.J. Wood that pulled him back in the game with just over 3 minutes to go in the half.
And here's a look at our Health South first half statistics. DC had the edge in shots and corner kicks. Offsides 3-1 for the Crew, and 2 saves for Mark Doherty. As we begin our second half, a change in goal for DC United. Tom Prestis, 6'4", 205 pounds, 23-year-old from Dallas, Texas. He played collegiately at SMU. So Scott Garlick is out. And Bruce Arena making a substitution in goal. And it's showtime for the second half here at RFK, 2-1. The Crew looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. They're also looking to get to the 500 mark to end the 1998 regular season. Other than that Jaime Moreno report that Seamus told you about, a severe shoulder bruise, he'll have x-rays tomorrow. Tony Senna strained a right groin that he had surgery on earlier in the season, and we were correct in Brian Mazonov's injury, a sprained right ankle, and he also had surgery there. Great move, Talley, as an opening, got it across backstick, headed out by Dooley. Slavinsky will put it right back in. It's knocked out by Farrell, but Judah Cooks headed out. Dooley to save the day twice, and Cooks almost scores in his MLS debut.
Wow, terrific heads-up play under great strength. Thomas Dooley is laughing out there. He can't quite believe what he did, but it was terrific basic defending. And Lassiter is hurt and down the penalty area, and so is Jason Farrell. Well, this is a great run and a good cross. There's the first clearing header by Dooley. Now the second chance comes in. Not finished by Lassiter, but it looks like it's going to be finished by Cooks. But look at that one. A diving header off the line. Take another look at it. Does he save this? I'm pretty sure he wasn't over the line, but looked like this was going to be all goal. Caroms off one player and then cleared beautifully by the man on the line in the right space. I don't know if Lassiter is hurt or just thoroughly fed up.
Yeah. Bruce Arena may be shaking his head a little bit with all of these guys going down. These injuries don't clear up. He's going to be doing a lot of juggling when the Miami Fusion come to RFK for game 1.
Well, he hasn't used Eddie Pope, of course, nor Richie Williams, nor Marco Echeverry, nor Brian Kamler, nor Ben Olsen. So those are all. Ben Olsen can't play today because he's sitting out kind of a red card. But they've still got some players who can help.
He's only got one more substitution left in this game. He has made 2 field substitutions and 1 goalkeeper sub. And Tom Prestis will get a touch. Vegas, strong left foot. It's way over the head of John Harkes. Richie Williams did some work at halftime. Worked up a little bit of a sweat.
Yeah, he and Eddie Pope together were warming up, but Richie Williams looks like he's going to be the one who may be the final roll of the dice on the substitute category for Bruce Arena. Bruce Arena, of course, all the controversy still swirling about here. Is he going to be the next national coach or is he not?
Stern John, look out at the penalty spot. This time he can't turn it. Yamosa was all over him. Dooley again with the head. A burst of speed from Mario Gori. Lassiter against Dooley. A trailing A.J. Woods is blocked by Ira Barron, and coming away is Yeagley.
Boy, that must have stung. That was a great low drive intelligently held up by Roy Lassiter and played right into the stride of a striker, A.J. Wood, coming from a deeper position. The Crew survive it.
Farrell against Cooks. He has a step. See you later, but a tug of the jersey from Cooks. Play on, says Rich Grady. Now Alcock found an opening. John played to Rob Smith. Smith turns and shoots. It's blocked by Harks. And Williams on it. Chipped it into space. McBride after it. Taylor's inside. He got a piece of it. McBride did Prestis. Out on the dive.
Boy, and Yamosa and Gorey all over Stern John to prevent him from getting in there. So El Pulpo or not, he was not able to find enough arms to get those two guys out of his way.
Jason Farrell had turned Judah Cooks inside out, but Cooks had a fistful of Jason's jersey. But the advantage was still there for the Crew. Good tackle by the veteran Agus. Gets it right back, then we'll thump it near side. Talley takes it down and will attack Farrell. Played the wing Lassiter. Strong move to the ball by Alcock.
Excellent tackle by Alcock, making the timing of his run based on Lassiter's first touch. And just textbook kind of defending there by Alcock.
So over the head of Farrell. And Mark Doherty will have an easy time with this. Mark had the pleasure of playing in Hawaii for a couple of years with the Tsunami. Telling me some stories about how well they did over there and how well they drew. He said one of the reasons we did so well is these other teams would come over and spend all day snorkeling, and then we tattoo them when we got them on the pitch.
How come we never get to do those games on TV?
I'm in to second that motion. Free kick here for the Crew. Andy Williams.
This is a good chance here.
Was sent in some deadly balls today. That time it hits the wall. Smith follows it up around one and then walked into the tackle of Jeff Agus. Foul will be called against Alcock. A.J. Wood. Onger. Agus. Look at Gorey. Seeing what Seamus told you about Mario Gorey in the first half. He just continues to work, and his pace and reaction to loose balls wins a lot of those 50-50s.
He's fearless, absolutely fearless. Great guy, the kind of player you love to have on your side and you hate to have against you.
Ubusuku Abukusabo getting ready to come into the lineup for the Crew, replacing Ricardo Irabarren. 10th appearance for Buka. He has made 3 starts. His 3rd start of his career was against Tampa Bay Wednesday night. So the substitution comes 8 minutes into the second half.
Well, he takes Irabarren out, who's of course playing with a yellow at this point, and a second yellow would mean a red. And that would mean missing a playoff game, but his accumulated yellows will not cause him to miss a playoff game. It's just, I think, a $1,000 fine.
His wallet will be a bit lighter. Don't miss out on the season tickets for $19.99. Slap down your $25 non-refundable deposit before October 31st. It'll get you level 2 priority, limited edition commemorative poster, and a lot more. Call the Crew office at 614-221. Crew operators are standing by right now, and they'll get you into Crew excitement in $19.99 with the new stadium.
Nice work by Williams over there. Andrew Williams battling down the line. Very skillful player. And if you have a ball on the line, he's the kind of player who will either force you to play it out of bounds or steal it from you. Here's a good run by McBride.
He's in behind Agus, but Agus able to get the left foot up, and a corner kick for the Crew. Andy Williams just turned 21.
So a bit of a dirty look thrown there by Jeff Agus to his midfield defenders in front of him, who were did not slow down that throw-in.
Andy Williams will head on over. He had an MLS record 7-game assist streak. That was snapped about a month ago. That's right into the awaiting arms of Tom Prestis.
Yeah, that was a kind of a line drive with no sort of guile or swerve on it. And that's the kind of ball that a keeper will love. And all he's got to do is be sure he picks his way out from goal between the players in front of him and wins it. But there's no bend on it, and that makes it a lot easier.
Buka stepped in. Oh, Dooley almost gave one away there. He put Yeagley in a bad spot. Lassiter, slide tackle from Dooley. He went in hard against Roy Lassiter, and Roy came away limping from that.
Well, Lassiter and he, of course, are teammates on the United States national team. You see them just patting each other as they went by. But this is a good attempt by Lassiter here. Watch him try to receive this ball and fake. Watch him try to receive and fake it there. That's a nice little fake. He almost gets away with it, but tough to do against Thomas Dooley.
Harks on the attack, got it to the back stick. Dooley's head there again, and Buka quick to a loose ball. Played long. Brian McBride hammered by Yamosa both. Fitzgerald and Greg Angulis jumped off the bench, and a yellow card immediately handed to Yamosa from Rich Grady.
Boy, that was a nasty piece of business. That's the second time Yamosa's done that in the game. And the first time nothing was called. But now there's all kinds of protest by Goose and by John Harks earlier. I think maybe they're just complaining about some inconsistency, feeling something should have been called their way at the other end. But this is no question a tough foul from behind. As you see him coming in. That is not from the side. That is definitely from behind, with no chance to get to the ball. And I would think under the aims of FIFA, that's pretty darn close to a red card.
Yellow card in the 54th minute. Carlos Yamosa. Stern John has some time. Slipped it for McBride. The pass is just a little bit behind Brian. And Judah Cooks with a burst of speed. He is away from Stern John and headed toward Alcock. Into space, the run. Lassiter, Buka tracking him. Double team help from Alcock. DC gets out of that. Harks probing with the right foot. Doherty stabbed it in the air.
Good idea with John Harks, who loves to get that swerving ball to the far post, where he very often has Tony Sana coming in. Of course, Tony Sana has gone off injured, and this time he had A.J. Wood, who's just as useful in the air. The ball just had a bit too much loft and not enough pace. Made it a little easier for Mark Doherty to get under.
Dumped into space. Dooley has a few yards on A.J. Wood, who has the DC United goal.
Not a great ball forward there from Gorey. And that's one aspect of Gorey's play where he's not quite so effective. His long balls out of the back can very often be a bit erratic.
Knocked to John. Yamosa covering him. Cooks has been somewhat impressive here in this MLS debut. Foul against.
I think so, yeah. Oh, there's a bad breakdown here.
Kelly with an opening. Two guys to get him. Played it in front. Dooley there again. Trailing was Harks. He thumped it. That one swung up.
Well, I got to say, a good job by Talley to get free. But part of the problem for him was that the two players on the inside managed to hide themselves in the forest of defenders rather than getting themselves a little bit open. We saw how effectively Stern John got himself open for that great cross from Farrell, but Lassiter's anxiety, I think, made him run a little bit into traffic rather than fake the run into traffic and then pull back and offer himself as a good target.
Stern John now has 8 multiple goal games this season. 3 hat tricks, 5 games of 2 goals. He's in a race there with Vegas. Jeff held him off and then sent it away. Now Jason Farrell. McBride checks the head ball in the mix. Over to get it is A.J. Wood.
Nice run by Smith. to get into the second ball there. Almost a pre-rehearsed play, a sort of a training ground play where Smith makes the run in behind McBride.
Adams Mark, the Hotel of Columbus, and the official host hotel at Columbus Crew offers a special crew fan rate, $79 to $89, featuring luxurious accommodations in the center of Columbus. Call 614-228-5050 for reservations. Andy Williams picked off a pass, played it into space, but Mario Gori was tracking back. Rob Smith provides some pressure. Good work by McBride. He had to get a right leg up, got it across. That's dangerous. Flashed past the back stick. There's the guy who spent the first half keeping the DC goal, Scott Garland.
And I don't think you could fault him too much for the goals. They were both buried close in by Stern John. And of course, the aim here for Arena is to give Presta some game experience prior to the run into prior to the playoffs beginning on Wednesday for them. Presta has been phenomenal when it comes to saving penalties. Always a useful technique, a useful talent to have.
Here's Cooks on the right flank. Farrell stepped into him, and the foul called against Jason Farrell. So a dangerous set piece here, and John Harkes will lope on over.
Well, you see the shirt grabbing. That's what the problem is here. Look at the shirt there. Yep, he's just pulling him back. Farrell thought they were both at it, not just he alone.
Mario Gori, Stern John. Stern can't get that under control. He was just about to get sandwiched in a double team between Gori and Harkes. Now the 30-year-old Jeff Vegas. Played left wing. Slavinsky hasn't seen much of the ball lately.
Well, and maybe that's why. Oh dear. Well, it's a rare start for Slavinsky. Did not do well with that opportunity. He's been in 15 games, but no starts this season. 1 assist on the year.
He will turn 24 on Halloween. St. Louis, Missouri product. St. Charles, Missouri, I'm sorry. Mark Doherty will knock it back in play. His 3rd consecutive start for the Crew. Andre just got a piece of that. I thought it was going to slide on over his head, but he was able to get up.
Yeah, well, Stern John was appealing to the referee to count that as a back pass, but referee deciding not. Stern John, who had such a dramatic start to this game, has been somewhat better handled now by DC United in the second half. Boy, that was a risky move by Agus, and he got away with it.
Here is Gori into the D.
Well, there's that crossing I was talking about. That long ball is not really his strength, not accurate.
Telly now ventures to the corner spot, deflected off of Farrell. Here's our Huntington Bank scoring summary. Stern John scored twice in the first half, 10th and 15th minute to put the Crew up 2-0, but A.J. Wood, 3 minutes before the halftime whistle, cut that lead in half. Ed Vicinic along with Seamus Malin. We're at RFK Stadium in the wrap-up of the regular season for the Crew and United. And the Crew trying to do something they have not done in their history, and that is win on this field. They are 0-6. One of those losses coming in the playoffs.
Very heavy touch there by Slavinsky, breaking up the attack, looking for a fast break, but a bad touch.
Smith got it across, but there were a whole lot more black shirts there than white, and I don't believe Kerry Telly knew that he had time. Don't miss out on the season tickets for $99. You could put down your $25 non-refundable deposit before October 31st. Operators are standing by right now at 614-221-CREW. They'll fill you in on all the details of what you can get by putting down your deposit. That one right into the arms of Prestis.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
One disappointing aspect aspect of the Crew play today has been corner kicks. They've not been that effective, and they haven't looked in any way threatening. Given the ability they have with players like Stern, John, and McBride, there's got to be a little bit more sense of productivity out of those set pieces.
Roy Lassiter has had some opportunities, but no real clear chances. He has been hounded. Didn't start the game. Came on replacing Tony Senna, who went out with injury. Now Stern John attacks a pair. Played it into space. Andy Williams after it. Caught up to it against Gorey. Gorey stepped into him and came away. Clark tried to make a quick touch past Slavinsky. Gorey bumped that away.
Well, you know, Williams had an opportunity to do something constructive here. He decided to take Gorey on, and sometimes Andy Williams will put his head down and just focus on the one-on-one and not see the forest for the trees. There's a foul by Gorey.
Mario Gorey doesn't like the call. Yeagley with the left wrist cast it.
Harks with the first challenge, and then the loss of the ball, and both Harks and Gorey felt that a dive was taken there by Yeagley.
Looking for a shirt tug there that wasn't called. Andy Williams will put it in play. Let's see what he's got in store for us this time. McBride and John trying to get free. Drove one low, but John had fallen down, and Agus had an easy time clearing that. Might have gone away harder than it came in. Smith, a step. Gorey right there again. Mario Gorey has played well. Buka, one of his few touches in the game, will give it to the veteran. Mike Clark found an opening. Gorey stepped into that. Buka took it down. Plays a little catch with Todd Yeagley. Strong move to the ball by John. And Rich Grady reached in his pocket.
Well, and I think he may have taken a look at the number the shirt saw was 18 and said, oops, that's a number 2 yellow, which means a red, which means no first game in the playoff. But yeah, that's a nasty little foul by Yamosa. Yamosa just not match fit. It's obvious. And he's reacting with some late timing in his challenges and some questionable judgment.
Harks, Slavinsky, and Andre, the Canadian international, right side for Talley. Talley moving in on Farrell, played it into the mix, headed away by Ansel Alcock. And Harks will trot on over to throw it in. Got it to Slavinsky. Now a race to the ball, and Andy Williams will win that, then has to do some dancing, but he was dragged down. Be at Ohio Stadium on Wednesday, September 30th. It's game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals when the Crew takes on the Metro Stars. 7:30 kickoff. It's Health South night with the Crew. The first 5,000 fans get a Crew antenna ball courtesy of Health South, and you don't want to miss out on that. What's life without a Crew antenna ball?
I guess I'll find that out.
There you go. We'll send you one, Shane.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You can put it on while you're watching it. Stern John needs 1 goal to match Roy Lassiter's total of 27 set in 1996. And should he get that goal, he'll break Lassiter's record. Andy Williams squirts free along the end line. What's he got? Oh, the pass was to nobody. And he's telling Brian, I thought you were going to be there.
Well, hard to know what he had in mind there, because McBride had done what I accused Lassiter of not doing at the other end earlier. McBride withdrew from the crowd, got himself open, and I don't know, he may have been trying to pick out Stern John edge of the box.
McBride fought to get on that. Gorey stepped in. Yeagley thought about a shot, played Clark, chipped it in. McBride is offside.
Well, boy, look at McBride soar in that play. Over the top of Yamosa. Now, Yamosa may have felt he was offside, but he looked awfully impressive going over the top. We'll take another look here as you see this ball flipped in. Now, look at McBride here. tremendous leap. Yamose sort of doesn't even challenge. That's the danger of McBride.
If they gave style points for goals, Brian would be even further up the scoring list. For my money, in the MasterCard Goal of the Year, he's got the Goal of the Year in my book, the one that he scored against the Chicago Fire. Came flying in and a side volley from about 6-8 yards out with a defender hanging on him.
Yeah, that was a great goal. In fact, I have to say, having seen the 26 goals they're offering us to choose 3 from, there's some awfully good goals this year. Really, it was a very tough choice. I got it down to 6 pretty easily, but the last 3.
I liked one that Roy Lassiter scored, a flying volley off the corner kick.
Yeah, very difficult ball to hit.
There he is. Talley being hounded by Smith. Side tackle, but the ball goes off of Smith and out of play. There's a 25-year-old from the University of South Carolina. Thumped across by Cooks. Slavinsky camped, but Clark beat him there. And Mario Gori.
That's better by Gori. Good possession kept, not just an aimless ball knocked forward.
Onger into space. Here comes Talley on it, over to get him. McBride in front. Smith knocked it in his own goal. An own goal ties it up. We're tied at 2. And the 70th minute.
Well, that is the worst feeling in the world for a player. Talley could care less. He thought he hit a good cross. It put pressure on Smith, but he swung at it awkwardly. In fact, look, running in behind him there was number 33, Judah Cooks. He hadn't reached this ball. Cooks was ready to put it away. See Cooks there?
Yep.
He was in position. That was going to be a goal, I think, anyhow. Cooks was in a great spot. And I think the defense reacted late to close him down. Smith had no idea Cooks was there. Reached it. They all relaxed, perhaps thinking Smith will knock it away. And instead he knocked it upper corner.
Nice vision and a good delivery from Jeff Onger to set off Talley. It's the first own goal against the Crew this season, so now they find themselves tied after getting out to a 2-0 lead by the 15-minute mark of the first half. John will try to go to work again. Lost it in a crowd. Picking his way. Trouble for DC. Yamosa slapped it away.
Well, I was going to say early on in the game, but I didn't want to jinx the Crew, that a 2-0 lead is against DC United is not necessarily a comfortable lead here because they have such a tradition of battling back into matches. They're so good at that. So when they had a chance to get the 3rd goal, it didn't happen. You might feel that DC could still come back and get 2, and they did.
Low driven ball right on the foot of Onger.
Another bad corner.
Acrobatics from Lassiter and strength.
Excellent play by Lassiter.
There is Cooks with some space to turn it on. Yeagley to get him. He'll slow it down. Pick his way for an opening. Found Onger trailing. Jeff looking for that overlapping run. Finally, Talley makes it. Looks a bit hesitant to do so. Onger again. It's in the mix. The head ball. Doherty the save.
Albuco having to react to that one, and Lassiter played off him nicely. Stayed deep and then came out. Look at Lassiter, top of the screen, go back and now come back out. And that's a very difficult run to defend, because the defender is caught by surprise as the attacking player pushes towards goal and pulls away from goal the last minute. It's a tough one.
Lassiter is onside, but he didn't get much of it. He had all the time in the world. I was looking for an offside flag and mishit it.
Well, he allegedly beat the offside trap, although maybe we can have another look. It might not have been offside, but it looked it. But my goodness, what a loss of composure by Roy Lassiter. Here's the end of it. He's got all kinds of time here. He must have felt that somebody was on his heels.
Richie Williams getting set to check in for United. Smith got run over. Want to make amends for an announcement we made in the Crew broadcast last Saturday. A message announcing a playoff ticket offer at Kroger beginning today ran in error, and we'd like to apologize for any inconvenience. Andy Williams turning a few inside out. Ball squirts free. McBride couldn't get there before Gorey did. Ball driven in. Stern John. The flag is up.
Well, the offside trap worked okay at that end for DC United, and did not at the other end a moment ago when Lassiter missed his great chance.
Substitution will be made.
Yeah, now this could be a very influential substitution. Richie Williams, such a good pro, has been so important as a hard-working midfield player, and very definitely a cut above Slavinsky in his experience and ability. So this could now put quite a bit of pressure on the Columbus Crew midfield as DC goes all out to get the winner with 16 to go.
Well, if the Crew end up pulling out a victory here, DC's going to look back at that Roy Lassiter chance about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Foul call against the Crew there. A set piece. Richie Williams will get it over to Talley. Talley has made trouble for the Crew from this side. Good work to keep it in bounds. Nope, the flag was up. It's over the end line and a Crew goal kick.
But it is alarming for the Crew that once again Lassiter managed to find a little bit of space there, although they may have relaxed thinking it was out of play.
This is the first game. There's a semi-break for John. Quickly surrounded by 3 black shirts. I'm about to say the first game that Richie Williams has played this year where he has not started. The 30 games he's been in have been all starts. It's a good battle there. Lassiter and Elcock both possessing great speed.
Well, I think it's also an interesting matchup, because it seems to me that Elcock now has taken on the job of man-marking Lassiter and not leaving it to Bucco, who obviously doesn't have the experience that Elcock has. Just a young professional beginning, really.
Bride. Strength on the ball, turns it, played it ahead. Rob Smith is going to have to turn it up. He got to it the left foot. It's a cross, and
oh dear. All that great work of McBride setting this man down the left side. And he actually had a time, I think, to put a better controlling touch on it before he hit the ball across. But great work by McBride, battling his way and then sending a nice crisp pass down the touchline.
Prestis came on at the start of the second half for Scott Garlick and has not allowed the Crew to get on the score sheet. Kerry Talley.
There's the Lassiter-Elcock battle. A definite change of assignments there. Elcock had started wide in defense and always central on Lassiter.
McBride against Yamosa. McBride carries on. Turns the face. He's going to leave it for Williams. Williams played it right back. McBride will get on it in the penalty area. Looking for a call and didn't get it. He was spun around by Mario Gorey.
Terrific return ball from Williams, though, after such attractive running and holding of the ball by McBride. Here comes Williams again.
And he ran into Gorey. He keeps running into that number 11. Carrying on, Andy Williams. Deep, he played it out high, and it got headed away by Yamosa, but Farrell was waiting. Yeagley tries one.
Whoa. Didn't miss by much. Todd Yeagley seeing Prestis off his line. Almost caught him.
Todd has 2 goals this season, 6 points.
Well, here you see he looks up, he takes a quick look, he doesn't wait for the half volley, he smacks the volley instead. It was about 3 feet over, but Prestis was backpedaling furiously. Good touch by Lassiter.
And here comes Talley again. The attack initiated a few times there. Harks now to Onger. He took a bad path to the ball, but still got a left foot off. It missed wide and a goal kick for the Crew.
I don't know if Doherty saw that one late, but it almost sneaked in at the far post there. Onger complaining that it should have been a corner. Onger takes it wide, cuts it back nicely.
And he did it a lot faster the second time.
That's right.
Harks looked like he mishit it, but it wound up on Lassiter's foot. In the words of Pee Wee Herman, I meant to do that. Williams. Oh, he danced around Farrell, and Farrell got a piece of it before he could cause any danger. Dooley, veteran move to keep possession, but couldn't find John. What a move by Richie Williams to turn Farrell inside out.
I thought Farrell got him at the penalty area, but evidently not. Williams has had such frustration trying to combine with McBride. Does this one work? No.
There's Williams back to get the ball. Bailey, Onger loads of space. Stepping up is Dooley. He smelled that. Broke it up. Farrell will leave it for Ansel Elcock. Back to Jason, the Seattle native. Yeagley thumps it right wing, and here's another Williams-Gorey battle that will happen. Tried to play early to the back post. The best place in Ohio State to watch a Crew game is the Adidas section, located at midfield, surrounded by true soccer fans waving limited edition Adidas Go Crew cards. You can get a free ticket to an Adidas section with a $25 deposit and purchase of official Adidas Crew merchandise at Soccer Plus in Westerville. Compliments of Adidas. 614-882-0909.
Carry move. Other way.
Williams has 10 points this season, 3 goals, 4 assists. Great work there by Harks to even stop that one anywhere close to his body. Mimosa climbed the back of Williams. Clark followed it up. And Andy will play it for an overlapping Farrell. Jason Farrell took it down. He's coming in left side. Tally to get him at the end line. Farrell back for John. It's kicked out by the defense. Carlos Mimosa.
What a great run by Farrell. Great vision by Farrell and a terrific ball delivered to him by Williams.
And here's the counter. Look out. That ball hit Dooley. A.J. Wood was sneaking in all alone.
Boy, that chance missed by Stern John. Actually, the easiest one of the 3 or 4 he's had. He buried 2 of them, and that one he just sort of slid at and mishit. That would have been the hat trick right there.
Cooks. Williams. Cooks wasn't expecting the pass. That allowed Rob Smith to get on it. Richie Williams. Now Onger. Oh, good move by A.J. Wood. He can't get it back, but a corner kick will ensue.
Well, Bucco is furious here because he thinks part of the reason that A.J. Wood was able to get around him was that he was holding back Bucco, but everybody holds people back. Here's the previous play. Look at this ball come back to him. He just mishits it. I don't know if Jeff Agus' defensive run surprised him, but there's the holding. Everybody's holding. You know, it's de rigueur. You hold, I hold.
Yeah. Harks. Penalty spot, handball save, Doherty, oh baby! A quick flash across.
And that was Tally coming up for that header. Excellent positional play by him. A nice driven ball by Harks. He had Tally coming from the backside of the defense. Nobody tracked him down, and he got the header in. He walks in alone, or to that ball. Folks did not catch him.
Bucco, the project, or that's Ansel Elcock. He was hauled down by A.J. Wood.
And actually, it was Tally's header that led to the first goal by DC United. The corner came in, he headed in the goal, and it awkwardly came off Ansel Elcock for A.J. Wood to rifle home the rebound. Tom Fitzgerald a little unhappy there because he was trying to get West into the game. He's trying to get Brian West into the game, and the restart came too quickly.
See the clock and the score. It's 2-2. The Crew got out to a 2-0 lead by the 15-minute mark. DC has scored the last two. Richie Williams, who turned Farrell inside out last time, won't do it this time. That ball snuck up on Yeagley. Good ball from McBride. And Smith came away. The Crew has numbers if they hurry. Yeagley leaves it on the right flank for a trailing Williams. Early ball. The offside flag is up.
Oh, talk about messing up a breakaway. Great chance there. An awkwardly struck and imprecise or slow ball by Yeagley was part of the problem. But then again, Stern John running, looking back at the play and all the defenders in front of him. Should have been able to stay onside.
Now Fitzgerald is really frustrated that he can't get Brian West into the game. And he's pleading with the fourth official, Dan Steed.
Yeah, he's trying to get Jason Farrell out, Brian West in.
Agus. Broken up by Clark. And here comes McBride. 2-on-5 for the Crew right now. Overlapping help from Elcock. Ansel has an opening, darts toward it. Played for John, top of the D. The foul is called and a free kick for the Crew. Don't miss out on season tickets for $19.99 by placing a $25 non-refundable deposit before October 31st. You'll receive a limited edition commemorative print of the new stadium and level 2 priority. Call the Crew at 614-221-CREW. Operators are standing by.
Well, this is the substitution has been made. Farrell's out, West is in, but we have an injured player down on the field. Is it Ansel Elcock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Elcock saw that opening and darted in there, then was tripped up as he played the ball to Stern John, and that was the reason for the whistle.
Well, that's the third substitute. The third substitution has been made. Now this is serious because if he's hurt badly enough to have to come off, they can't bring another player on. So I was wondering if Tom Fitzgerald might at the last second yell, no
Markey,
substitution. No, he's not
safe
going in
now.
yet. Let's see
Away,
how
right?
Elcock is. But
come on now. Keep Thomas back. Get Thomas back.
Putting a little bit of a hook on Thomas Dooley.
Well, I think that's an eternal exercise, frankly. Trying to get Thomas to restrain his runs.
And there he is walking out of your picture right now.
Elcock's okay, so.
Williams. Headed away.
Another bad set piece.
Williams did some work to get back in. That won the ball. Yeagley through an opening, and that's going to hurt for a while. He landed right on the ball.
Yeah, and on the arm. Quick free kick taken, and a bad decision. Another badly taken. Andrew Williams is having a nightmare, I have to say, at set pieces. He's worked terrifically hard in the open play, and he's made some great passes in open play, but his free kicks and his corner kicks have been really of poor quality, very surprisingly so.
Richie Williams turns. Well, this is the fourth meeting between the two teams this year. Two of the previous three have gone to shootout. One of them was right here when the Crew had a 1-0 lead all the way into the 89th minute when Jaime Moreno's tied it up, and then the United went on to win in the shootout. Also a shootout game at Ohio Stadium. Williams, but it found its destination anyhow. Harks got it across, headed out by Dooley, and West is on it. Brian West, long ball for John. That hopped up on him, and Kelly got it back for Agus.
Excellent clearing header by Dooley. You notice that not only did he dive and clear it away, but he played it straight to Brian West on about a 25-yard header. Excellent technique.
Dooley stepped in front of that one, and he's down. And Andrew Williams Williams will knock it out of play, and Amy Armstrong will get up and check out Thomas Dooley.
What happened? He looked like he's. I thought maybe he stretched for it, and therefore it can pull a groin muscle, but he's holding the lower part of his leg. So what on earth could that be? Maybe he stepped in a awkward.
It actually looked like the ball hit him when he was expecting it, and he might have turned an ankle.
You'll see him reach for it. There's the reach.
Yeah, you might be right. It might be a groin.
Well, that's what my first thought was, but well, he's okay.
Brian Mazanoff, Ricardo Barron, Billy Thompson there in your picture. Mazanoff went out in the first half when he re-injured that right ankle. Mike Clark back to his keeper, Mark Doherty. Doherty takes it away from pressure. A few more touches. He's got to be sure of that pass. Alcock didn't get the foul, and here's the attack for Williams coming in on Dooley. Across in front, Dooley's head gotten away again. Alcock will close down Williams. He got it across anyway. Look out, after it, a scramble, and a foul called against DC.
Oh, almost Alphonse Gaston breakdown in defense back there with, in the end, Clark and Yeagley exchanging strong words. But that's not a foul?
Sure looked like one to me, and Alcock couldn't believe it. That started that whole attack.
His leg reaching around and two arms into the back.
Stern John. That was supposed to be a pass, but he got back on it. Clark will thump one in. It's going to come to McBride. Chest it with Yamos on it. Got it back. Williams, the right foot. Oh, just flashed wide left.
Oh, that had goal of the year written over that one. Well, as I said, Williams has had some problems with the set pieces, but he ran out of this one. But what a great serve back from McBride. Again, getting open at the far post. Good chest trap, good volley down. And I'll tell you, Preston would have known nothing about that one as it was going for the upper corner.
A.J. Wood has a goal, long hit. Doherty had trouble with it, but covered it up.
A.J. Wood never hesitates to crank him from a distance. So at each end, we've almost had a game winner.
Look at that turn. Andy Williams loads of space. Gorey trying to catch up to him. Williams with the right foot in front. The loose ball to Brian West. West with the right foot, just wide.
Oh, wonderful end-to-end action here. Fitz can't believe it. He'd love a regulation victory here. DC has won 2 games this season, as you mentioned, against the crew, but they've all been by shootouts. West going far post. Good idea. That's where he wanted to go. Far post is where the space was, the shooting space, but just shanking a little bit off the outside of the right foot.
Under a minute now. We remain tied at 2. Doherty will take the big hop. Bring it out a few steps. And then give it a ride. John in a battle with Agus. Andra won that head ball. Here comes Williams, a left foot. Big stop by Precious.
Can you believe this shooting in the last 2 minutes? What a tremendous shot by Williams.
Alcock stepped in. That's a big win of the ball for the crew. Doherty back to Buka. We are going to shootout. 90 minutes in the book. 2-2 the score, and the 1998 regular season will wrap up with a shootout. Tom Fitzgerald readying his crew to get a win. We'll be back for the shootout.
held a beating heart. These hands have successfully completed over 1,500 open heart surgeries. These hands have turned over 65,000 pages of medical journals. These hands can perform open heart surgery through an opening no bigger than this. These hands you can trust.
Riverside Sports Medicine, for the athlete in everyone.
During the year, we spent a lot of time with each other, both on the field and off. It brings us closer together, and that helps us play better. When Lil has the ball, I know exactly where she needs me to be. It's like we can read each other's minds.
Soccer is a game with a ball, 2 goals, and 22 players. On a good day, the ball is your dance partner, and the goals are vacuum. On a bad day, their goalkeeper's a wall, and the grass is concrete. So when your body and the field meet too many times, there's Health South. We're the nation's largest provider of comprehensive sports medicine and rehab for competitive and recreational athletes. Health South will restore you to peak performance, so there are more of the good days in your future. Health South, the healthcare company of the 21st century.
Today's game is brought to you by Adidas, by Grant Riverside Methodist Hospitals, by Huntington Banks, and by Health South. 2-2 the score after regulation, and we're headed for the shootout. Todd Yeagley looks on in anticipation of what will transpire. Here's our stats at the end of regulation.
Well, you can see the heavy advantage of DC, a ratio 2-to-1 in shots, 18-9. It didn't feel like that, but a lot of them were off target, I feel. Only one save by the DC goalkeeper. Well, what a save by Tom Prestis at the end. And DC fouling 20 times and battling aggressively to get back in that game, and successfully so.
And over in the Western Conference, the Riverside Sports Medicine Western Conference, it'll be LA against Dallas, Chicago against Colorado in the Western Conference when the playoffs begin this week. Brian West first off, 5 seconds to score. A quick touch to his right, walked around and scored. Brian West, a dart, 1-0.
Well, it looked like he'd over-touched it and left himself no time on the clock, but the key was the speed of the approach run to get there in the first place, allowed him the time he needed when he made the touch past the keeper.
Jeff Agus will take this, and he'll start way off to the right rather than up the gut. So he'll angle in. Left footer, of course. Mark Doherty. Wide-eyed and awaiting. There's the touch. The left foot of Agus. Stopped by Doherty after a round. The Crew up 1-0. Brian McBride next up for the Crew.
Pretty unimpressive shootout attempt by Goose there, as he's known. But let's see what McBride does.
McBride is 1 of 2 on shootouts this year, 1 of 6 in his career. He goes against Prestis. Comes in with the right foot, a couple of touches, and Prestis got just a piece of it.
Well, the scorers like McBride, you know, they're natural scorers. They feel that they know how to find the corners and fake keepers, but Prestis was ready.
A.J. Wood will come in from that same angle that Agus took. Watch the eyes of Mark Doherty as he gets ready for this second shootout. A.J. Wood, who has a goal, sliding to his right and scored. Nice finish by A.J. Wood.
Well, A.J. Wood, of course, got them back into this game with his fine conversion of a loose rebound that fell his way to bring it back to 2-1.
After 2 rounds, we're tied at 1. Stern John next up for the Crew. John is 0 for 2 on shootouts. Heavy touch and a chip. He scored. What a classy touch from Stern John.
Well, he waited for the keeper to sprawl, as Prestis did. And I'm surprised more players don't do that in the shootout, just sort of chip it up. You got to be careful you don't chip it over the keeper. Well, here comes John Harkes.
Harkes trying to keep United even after 3 rounds. Sets up with the right foot. His first touch to the arc. Slows up, a couple of fakes, walked around and taps it in.
Once again, the technique is to get there fast so that you've got time at the end. Not all that fast, but it's a good fake. And it's got to be a close touch so that you have time to pursue it and knock it in that last second, because you are down to the last second then. Williams next.
Let's see what Andy's got. This is his first shootout attempt. He shoots and just past the near post.
Well, it's not been Andrew Williams' night when it's come close to the goal time. Set some great shots on goal, but he does a nice job here picking out the far post. That's what you want to do, and keeping it nice and crisp and low, but just miscalculated.
Jeff Onger next up. A goal would put DC ahead. There he comes with the right foot, and Doherty to the rescue.
Good move by Doherty. He did see Onger take that extra dribble, and as soon as he took the extra dribble, he accelerated. Well, keep your eye on the keeper now, Doherty. See, there he comes out. As soon as he saw Onger drop his head to concentrate on the shot, then he knew it was coming, and he threw his body at it. Good move. Now here's a chance to go ahead with Elcock.
This is the 5th round. Elcock will go one-on-one. A big touch to get to the arc, then a couple of fakes, and he tripped himself.
Well, Ansel a little embarrassed by that effort. Once again, he got there nicely in terms of speed, but Fitz, he really wants a win here. He wants a win to get this team riding into the playoffs and a win, but right now, Lassiter can win it for them.
Roy Lassiter against Mark Doherty. They were teammates in Tampa a couple of years back. Let's see what the Rocket has in store for Mark Doherty. A goal here would win it for DC. They have 6 shootout wins to their credit this season. Lassiter will take that angle that Agus and Wood took. Here comes Roy Lassiter against Doherty. He scored, and DC wins it in a shootout. Dejected and disappointed Tom Fitzgerald. As DC wins in shootout, Roy Lassiter with the winning goal. Our Huntington Banks player of the game is Stern John, who scored a pair of goals for the Crew early on. His 25th and 26th of the season.
And how ironic, the man he was pursuing, Roy Lassiter, to try to break his record, should end up being the guy who won the game in the shootout for them. But Stern John, definitely the leading goal scorer this season. I think, unless Kobe Jones pulls a miracle tonight in LA, I should think he'll be the leading scorer in the league.
So the Crew finishes on a 5-game losing streak at 15-17, which matches their season record for the last 3 seasons. The final 3-2 united in a shootout. Stay tuned for English Area Soccer, joined in progress, English League Soccer, for Seamus Malin and the rest of our crew here at RFK. I'm Ed Vasidik saying so long, everybody.